Hi, I'm Caitlin and welcome to my channel, CaitMakes. Today we're going over my top 10 favorite beginner-friendly patterns. I'm going to rank them from easiest to most difficult, although they all are easy and beginner-friendly. If you are a beginner sewist, this video is for you. If you're a more experienced sewist, I think you'll still really enjoy these patterns, but these ones are really focused on if you are a beginner, you can absolutely do these. I am self-taught / YouTube taught, and so a lot of these have corresponding YouTube videos. If not, then the patterns were super easy to follow, really beginner-friendly language and format and everything. So 100% I created these as a beginner. You can too, and I'm so excited to share these with you. I hope you enjoy it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you do. That makes a huge difference to me, and I'd love to have you around here more often. Let's get started. Again, I'm going to do this list from easiest to complete to hardest, and this is subjective. This is just my personal opinion. As I mentioned, I have made all of these myself, so this is just what I think upon reflection was the easiest to tackle as a beginner, and then we're gonna work our way up. But all of them are very beginner friendly. All of them could be your first project, but yeah, good to know which one is the actual easiest. So first, I'm going to recommend what I call a ruffle tank top. This is one of the first things that I made, and I had this Pinterest photo that I'll put over here pinned on my Pinterest board forever. I loved the way it looked, and it seemed like something that would be simple enough for me to figure out. So I started searching on YouTube, and I came across the Essentials Club. I highly recommend the Essentials Club YouTube channel. She is super helpful. There are a ton of beginner-friendly projects on there. That's one that I referenced a lot when I was first starting. The specific video I'm going to recommend to you is called 4 Easy DIY Cami Style Tops Self-Drafting Process. So very self-explanatory in the title. I have only made one of these. I haven't made the other 3. So I'm only going to recommend that one to you, but I'm sure the other 3 are great as well. But this one is super beginner friendly. It would be an awesome first project to do. It teaches you some of those basic things. Really all you have to do are sewing straight lines, which is great to do as a beginner. You're making a elastic channel by sewing those straight lines. So you know, kind of learn how to work with an elastic, always helpful. And then doing a hem at the bottom of the top, like all really simple but really important skills to learn. Much more fun than making a pillow, in my opinion, which is what a lot of people have you do as your first project. Like you're just making a square and it just is not exciting enough. So this will teach you all those same things, if not more, and you'll actually get a cute wearable top out of this. For my version, I'll put a photo of it here if I can. I extended the length and I put the elastic a bit lower down than her instructions are, just because I wanted to have like a lot of ruffle up at the top, like my reference photo. This is a great first pattern to try. Highly recommend. Now on to the second one. Okay, number 2 on the list, the second easiest of these 10 patterns is the graduation dress. I feel like this has been getting more and more popular. I've been seeing more people make it and more videos happen around it. So I'm very excited about that because I think it is one of the best patterns ever. Really one of the best dresses I've ever made. I will continue to make this probably forever in new patterns and new designs because it's so simple, so flattering, and really special. Like it's just 10 out of 10, all of the things. So it's a my Ardour pattern, and she does have video tutorials as well. That's going to be a reoccurring theme. Most of these that I'm going to recommend to you, because I mostly learned on YouTube, are going to have associated YouTube videos to help you along in the process, which is great. But yeah, I'll put a photo over here of what this pattern is and what the dress is. You can just see how beautiful it is. I'll put in mine as well and how those turned out. I have made this dress twice so far. I definitely will make it more and more. Specifically this year, I want to make at least one of these. So no zipper. It's really just 2 panels, a front and a back, that you have to sew together. This is with stretch fabric, so not quite as easy as the first one with like a cotton or something, but because there's so little construction to this, I think it's a great beginner project. So because it's stretch fabric, it's also pretty easy to fit. You have a lot of, you know, give and leeway with the stretch fabric. So definitely highly recommend. It is so beautiful and super easy to make. So if you try it out, or if you've done it before, please tag me, let me know how it went, because I would love to see it. I love every single version I've ever seen of this dress. All right, moving on to number 3. Number 3 on the list is the Mal dress. This is actually a free sewing pattern. Yay, we love free. You can find this on Mood Fabric's website. This is a super beginner friendly project. It's a really cozy kind of boxy fit dress. I'll put a photo, you know, of the pattern over there. Unfortunately, I don't have a photo of my version of it because I made it as a gift for one of my friends, but it turned out wonderful. I loved it. I actually did 2 different fabrics and kind of mix and match where I put them, and then I used bias tape as well to do like the hem of the skirt, and I think I added it in 1 or 2 other places. The only other alteration that I made to mine was that I made it as a maternity / like breastfeeding dress. So I actually cut down the center of the bodice portion and then added snaps, which was a really easy alteration to make. Again, I had not been sewing that long, and it was super easy to do, to just add that ability to be able to open it easily. What's great about this one is there isn't a zipper. It's just a slip-on dress. So again, you don't have to deal with that. You're learning how to gather, because you gather on the skirt portion, which is a really easy process, but you know, good to learn how to do. I found everything really easy. The instructions I thought were great. And yeah, it's not a fitted dress, so I think it goes on the easier side, because if you're nervous about, you know, if it'll fit or not, you can size up and it'll still look super cute. One other alteration that I did to this was I added tie straps. So when I sewed my bodice together, I just sandwiched a string on each side so that my friend could also tighten it, or, you know, have a cinched waist if she wanted. So that was another fun alteration that I thought like kicked it up a notch. But overall, super great dress, really easy and really cozy, like everyday, very wearable kind of dress. Okay, number 4 on this list is my first non-indie pattern. This is a NewLook pattern. It is the N6731. It's marked easy because it is. I can attest that it is super easy to do. The reason I put this slightly further down is because I do feel like this shape isn't for everyone. I'm still not sure that I love this cutout on me, but I have seen so many people make it and look so cute in this. So I do feel like it kind of depends on your body shape and, you know, just like what you like personally. For some reason I decided to size up, I think 2 sizes, just because I was kind of nervous about this cutout, and I should have just trusted the process and made my size. So I do plan on making this again in the correct size where this will look a lot better. So I'm excited to make it again. The construction of it is super simple. You're doing a hem at the bottom, and then the straps and all of that is really just how you cut out the fabric. It's really just 2 panels, and then the crisscross strap at the back. And really the main thing that makes this fitted and makes it look really unique is just elastic. So super easy construction. I think it can turn out so cute. It's a great like vacation dress, a great spring or summer dress. Yeah. Definitely recommend. Super cute. Can't wait to remake this myself. I feel like the gingham version is so cute. I think I need to make like that exact one. Highly recommend pattern number 4. Super, super cute. Okay, recommendation number 5 is a pattern that I made very recently actually, and that I wish I had made sooner because it is fabulous and so beginner friendly and so wearable, a great everyday piece. So it's a turtleneck pattern. I'll put it over here. I specifically use the Kiana Bonollo turtleneck pattern, and it also has a mock neck option. The pattern was great, super easy to follow, and the fitting and everything for me was perfect. So highly recommend. And if you would like to sew it along with me, this is my first one where I have a video to go along with it as well. So I'll make sure to link that here or link it down below. It's my wardrobe essentials video. Turtlenecks are just the best wardrobe essential ever. And now I know how much fun they are to make, so I'm probably going to make way too many turtlenecks in my life now, but yeah, highly recommend. Super beginner friendly. You know, we are growing in skills a little bit. There's still no zipper or anything, but this one is a bit more fitted, so I think that can put up the difficulty slightly, but you know, it's okay if it's a little baggy if it's a turtleneck. The main skill increase there is just putting in the armholes, which really wasn't difficult. I kind of went over it in deep detail in my video. Super beginner friendly and a great piece to add to your wardrobe. You will not regret making it. So on to number 6. Recommendation number 6 is the bubble frock pattern. I am in love with this pattern. Oh my gosh, if you've seen my videos before, you know I made one of my favorite dresses I've ever made from this pattern, and I also made the top version. I'll put the pattern over here. This is a Lydia Naomi sewing pattern. I love, love, love her patterns. They're so easy to follow. They were some of the first ones that I tried because I, stumbled upon her channel and I watched her tutorial videos before I even really knew how to sew. And she just does a wonderful, wonderful job. She really walks you through every process. Her videos are great, and she just has like a wonderful little bubbly personality. So highly recommend watching those if you're going to make it. And then I'll also recommend my Sew With Me video that I did for the dress. This was during Christmas time, so it is a Christmassy video, but it is a black velvet quilted version. I'll put some photo or video or something over here so you can see what I did with it. But oh my gosh, I love this dress. It is super beginner friendly. The only fitted portion is the bust, and I felt that her sizing worked great for me. Just, make sure you measure everything, compare it to her charts. And it's a really easy construction. There is a zipper with this one, which is why it's a little further down on the list. I know zippers can scare some people, but don't be scared. It's really not that bad. And if you do a bad job when you sew on a zipper, you can always take it out and do it again. It's really not as bad as some people crack it up to be, I think. But I did put it further down on the list just because I know it can scare some people away. So it's really the only complicated bit on there. Besides that, super easy to construct, really easy to fit in my opinion. I'll put the top that I made here. I don't have a Sew With Me on that one, but really the same construction as the dress, it's just shorter. So highly recommend this one. I have seen so many cute versions of it. This would be a great first dress to make as well. And yeah, just can't recommend it enough. So on to number 7. Number 7 on the list is a mini skirt. I love both versions of this that I've made. I made it in black and in brown. Put some photos or videos or something over here so you can see. But this is just such a wearable piece, and it's really simple to construct. I thought it was such an easy process, and another one of those pieces that I wish that I had made even earlier in my sewing journey, so recommending it to you as one of your early projects. The pattern for this is the Freyja dress pattern by Allis Patterns. I bought this on Etsy, and this is one of those patterns that you get a lot of bang for your buck. I haven't made the top portion of this pattern yet. Basically, it is 2 different dresses, or it's 2 different tops, or it's 2 different skirts, and it's very mix and matchable. A great wardrobe staple you can wear in all different seasons because you can put tights under when it's cold. You cannot have tights under when it's warm. It goes with everything, and yeah, it was just a super easy thing to sew. This one does have a zipper as well. Besides that, again, the construction is super simple. This is the first one that has a waistband of some sort. It's actually an invisible waistband. Highly recommend this one. It's definitely one of my most worn pieces, and I only made my first one a couple months ago. It has gotten so much wear, so totally worth the time and effort to do as one of your early projects. And now moving on to number 8 out of 10. Okay, pattern number 8 is one of my all-time favorites. I have used this pattern the most. I've made the most variations of it because it is just 10 out of 10. Love it. It is a great beginner project. I know this because this is the first dress that I ever made. So if you're a beginner, you can absolutely do this. I had no idea what I was doing, and I did it, and it turned out wonderful. So this pattern is the Isila dress by Patterns by PatternCos. Can't recommend it more. It's a really classic shape, really beautiful, like timeless dress in my opinion, and something that's easy to add your own flair to, or just leave as is, and it's beautiful. First one I ever made was the one that I wore to one of my best friend's wedding, and I got so many compliments on it. It was so lovely and so sweet and gave me such a huge confidence boost. So I highly recommend just jumping in and going for it and creating something that excites you. Don't make a pillow just because people say you should make a pillow first. Like, go for it and make the dress of your dreams first and just do it. That is my big takeaway. I think people can get overwhelmed with the idea of starting something new. And a lot of times, you just need to make something that's so exciting that like, you don't care if it, takes you a little extra time and effort because you can't wait for the end result. And that's how I felt about this dress. And it's really how I felt about it every single time I've made it. Every version I've made is one of my favorite things ever. It is further down on the list just because technically speaking, I felt like it was a little harder than the other ones. But like I said, it was really one of the first things I ever made. So you can absolutely do it no matter what. But it does have a princess seam top, which is not too complicated. It is something that you want to fit really well. So it's something that The first time I made it, this is one of the only things that I've ever done a mock-up for, especially because it was an early project. You know, I really wanted to make sure I knew what I was doing. But the great thing about princess seams is you can kind of just, you know, keep pinching and pinning until it really fits your body. Princess seams just, I think, are so beautiful and they're so classic. There is a zipper. And that's really it as far as complication. But yeah, another reason why it's a little bit further down on the list is because it does have an instructional video, which I'm a very visual learner, so that is what works best for me. I really like to be able to see what someone else is doing rather than just reading it. Written instructions are great too, but especially as a beginner, you know, I feel like seeing is just a little easier to comprehend than, you know, some of these sewing words that maybe you've never heard before. Still, written instructions are fine. You can get by not knowing what you're doing, because I did, but video instructions are definitely where it's at. But, so this video is great, super helpful. The only, you know, caveat that I'll mention is that it is in Spanish. I do not speak Spanish, and I understood it just fine, and I love this pattern, not because I understand Spanish, but because it has great subtitles. So if you are going to go off the video, you do have to use the subtitles. Another version that I've made is a pink version, which I'll put over here. It's this lovely pink cotton blend fabric that I did the bias tape all throughout, which I thought gave it a really cool touch. And I have worn this one a ton. I've worn this casually and as something more formal, and it's just gotten a ton of use. So really love that. And then most recently, I used the bodice portion for my birthday dress that I made this year. I'll make sure to link that video if you'd like to sew along that top bit with me. I did add a lot of extra things that time since I was feeling really comfortable, but if you do, you know, want to make it a tiny bit more advanced, you can use my video. But the original pattern is more beginner friendly. This is also something that's really easy to add boning to. Like, there's just so many things that you can do to this base pattern. It's a great one to start with, and it's a great one to expand your skills and like experiment with as you move forward, or at least that's what I have found. So highly recommend that one. And now moving on to number 9. Number 9 on the list is the only other non-indie pattern on here, which is the very easy Vogue pattern V9259. I'll make sure to link all of these below, of course. But this is such a fun pattern to make. I absolutely love the version that I made, and I really want to make this again once the weather gets warmer and something more casual. I'll put the version that I did over here. I made this for vacation when I went to Italy. I specifically wore it in Positano, and it just will hold the most lovely memories for me forever. But it is pretty unwearable for everyday life. Throughout the years, I'm sure I will find excuses to wear this every now and then, but because of how much I love it, I definitely want to make it again in something more casual and wearable. But this is super beginner friendly. If you notice in the version that I made, I decided to keep the two pieces separate, and it worked out great that way. I wear the top a bit more since the pants are really what are very loud. These are definitely more of a like secret pants where it looks like a skirt, but in fact they are pants. I think difficulty wise, it's really not that much more difficult than the last few ones that I have shared. There are just a couple more technical aspects to the pant portion of this specifically. So it does have pleats in the front, which is just a new skill. It's not difficult to do, but it is something new. And then it does have a zipper in the back for the pants, and then you also need a closure for the waistband portion. I used little like hooks and eyes. But yeah, there's just a couple new things on here, but as you can see, you know, there's multiple ways to make this. I think you could do it in so many different fabrics. For the most part, you want something kind of lightweight and flowy, but I think that there's a lot you can do with this one, and still definitely very beginner friendly. The top portion especially is super easy to make. So yeah, definitely recommend this one for a beginner friendly pattern as well. So that was number 9. Now we're on to the last one on this list. So number 10, which actually is one of my all-time favorite patterns in the world. So excited to share it with you. Okay, and last but most certainly not least is one of my all-time favorite patterns is the Dream Frock pattern by Lydia Naomi. It's a milkmaid type dress. She has a video tutorial that walks you through every single step. You will have 0 questions watching one of her videos, and it's just such a beautiful dress to make. I absolutely love mine. It's one of my most worn makes, one of my most worn pieces of clothing in general. I just absolutely love this dress. I will put in some clips here. I wore it in the UK and in the Cotswolds, which I feel like a dreamy milkmaid dress just suits the atmosphere so well, but I wear it every single summer. As soon as it's warm enough to wear in the spring or whatever, I'm wearing it all the time. Highly recommend making it in a cotton like I did. It's just so comfortable and wearable. But I've seen so many pretty versions of this. You can make it in a ton of different fabrics. I personally want to make it in something a little more formal next time. I don't have a sew with me for the white version that I made of this dress, but I do have one for a hacked version, which is a bit more advanced. But if you do want to see a hack of it, a slightly more advanced version, check that out. I made it in a yellow linen. I did quite a few things to it. It's just an absolutely wonderful pattern. Again, it's one of the first things that I made. This is a very beginner-friendly pattern. The only reason I put it lower on the list is just because I think the fitting of this one, especially in the bust portion, is slightly more difficult, but really it is super beginner-friendly. I think the most difficult part of this pattern is just getting that perfect V shape right underneath the bust, just connecting those like cups to that small V. That being said, really, you absolutely could do this if you're a beginner. At any level, you can make this dress. So I really highly recommend it. It does have the zipper in the back. All the versions that I have made have had to use a zipper in some form. But I know that Lydia Naomi does have video instructions on doing it without a zipper as well, where you do like shirring in the back. But super beginner friendly, highly recommend. But yeah, you'll just end up with a super dreamy dress, and in my opinion, something that looks much more complicated than it is. So definitely a win-win and one of my favorites on this list. That wraps up this top 10 list of super beginner friendly patterns that you can do as your first pattern or as something that you can do at any point in your sewing journey. Things that you will actually wear and that I think are super versatile and will really add to your wardrobe and be totally worth the time and effort that it takes to hand make something. And from my own experience, I will say that making any one of these patterns will be a super encouraging experience. It will be a really easy process, and you'll end up with something that you'll be really proud and excited about and will make you want to sew even more. More than anything with this channel, I really want to encourage people that you can absolutely sew. You can absolutely make your own clothes. It really isn't as difficult as it may seem, and it's such a rewarding process. It's so fun, and especially if you love fashion and if you love clothes like I do, it's such a fun creative outlet that you'll just get so much reward and joy out of. Such a fun hobby to share with other people, and especially here on YouTube, I feel like it's such a lovely community of people that sew and that share their journeys. So I just couldn't recommend it more. I feel like it's enhanced my life so much, just like taking that random leap to decide to make my own clothing. I really got there from trying to be more sustainable and more mindful about what I was buying. I thought I'll just give making my own clothes a try and know that like no harm went into the process of making this item, and it's just really rewarding. I just feel so good about all the things that I made, and I want to share that with others. I want you to have that same feeling. So I hope that you enjoyed this list. I hope it's encouraged you that even if you've never sewn anything, you can make any single one of these items. I hope that this was helpful, and if you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell if you'd like to never miss one of my videos. And yeah, I so appreciate you spending your time with me here today, and I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week. I will see you next week for my next video. Talk to you soon. Bye!